Hey everyone, welcome back. It's another Wednesday live stream with the Shower Door Professionals Group. As you may know, we meet weekly to discuss business, education, safety, design, everything as it pertains to the shower door industry, glass, glazing, you name it. So, hey, and don't forget,
Dad.
in case you can't see us live here streaming, we do have a podcast. So you can just search for Shower Door Professionals. Anywhere you get your podcast, you can just listen to this while you're at work or driving around, whatever. You can also find us on YouTube, same thing. Just search that Shower Door Professionals, or you can just go to showerdoorprofessionals.com and see what's going on, get all the news, sign up for stuff. Who knows? Maybe you'll get invited to a cool party somewhere. Love it. So, yeah, not all of you were here last week. I think some of you were recovering from the glass show, Glass Build America, they call it.
Yep.
So, we heard a little bit about it, but like I say, not everybody was back yet. Good
It was
times,
a
good
great
times.
party, Chris.
Yeah, that's what I heard,
There's
man.
probably 70, 80 people maybe at the party.
Yeah. Shannon said just a little over 80.
Wow. That's awesome. I'm really glad that there was a good turnout. And we had planned for 75 and we're like, we're kind of back and forth like, are we going to have that many or are we going to have too many? So it's cool that it landed right around exactly the right spot.
Yep.
What was your favorite part,
So,
Brad, of the whole thing? I missed you guys, man. I was thinking about you though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Favorite part, my gosh, I would say probably the party. Also, the tour of M3 Glass.
Yeah, what was that like?
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. How many people? Was there
It's
a ton of people?
Huge factory. Yeah, it turned out to be a lot larger than what we were expecting. And I think they had a couple different tours going, two or three tours. So it was a big day for them. But it was like a campus. They had like 4 buildings and didn't realize, but Chris Mayman is the guy who used to own it. I guess he sold it to an investment group and he's still part owner. But that was his granddad's land. Great granddad, probably. Granddad or great granddad. So I guess he's probably a 3rd generation glass guy, I'm guessing. But it was an old farmland out there that turned industrial, and then they built a small building and grew, and now it's 4 buildings.
Wow. Well, that's
Yeah.
quite
So
the
they
location to be in, I mean, it's a growing area.
And they would actually, by the way, yeah. They probably would do one of these meetings, kind of like
like kind of
the
guest
Phantom
host
guys, 3 Shade February.
Yeah, come and be
Yeah,
our
they
guest host.
probably would, and they do. Yeah, they do back painted glass, a lot of it for like chalkboards or what marker boards. They do a lot of other stuff. They do everything except for UV paint. They do ceramic frit, then of course the laminated glass. They're doing my switchable glass that's hopefully in production.
Oh, nice.
And they ship all over the country.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yeah, those gates they made, that was interesting. Those glass gates they had.
Yes.
They were fabricating. They make those.
Yes.
by the time.
Glass gates like
For
for
like the
outside, like around the pool,
subway?
something like
No,
that.
no. It's like when you go to
subway
security.
stations and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
It's like when you go through security or you like BART or somebody, you go through one gate and there's a glass gate that opens up, you go through and they do all that.
It's like automatic doors sort of thing.
But there's just glass. Brackets.
Wow.
Yeah, they're almost like thin panels. They're like got a weird little odd shape. And yeah, he was saying that each one of those panels takes about 32 minutes to fab out
Yeah.
in their little water jet machine. It was pretty cool.
Mhm.
That is cool.
Mhm.
Wonder what that translates into dollars per minute.
Yeah.
Probably a few dollars. Awesome.
Yeah.
Then I thought their autoclaves were quite interesting too. For the laminated, they were shipping containers.
Mm.
So how long did it take you guys to tour the place?
Oh, shoot, I don't know,
I don't know.
2 hours.
30
Lost
minutes?
track of the time.
Oh, an hour.
Did they give you a snack?
Now they didn't have lunch for us.
No.
I guess what, an hour?
What's that now?
I don't know if it was an hour or not. I have no idea how long it was.
That's
But
awesome.
they had, I think he said, the first Chinese oven in the United States of any brand.
Yeah.
And that's how
Awesome.
they could afford to get started.
And that was how long ago?
20-something years, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe longer,
I think
probably
it's
longer than that, 30 years. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, 20 years isn't what it used to be.
No, they call it a
No.
shake and bake oven.
Easy
The glass
bake?
goes in, goes back and forth like this. And then it goes out through the cooler.
Nice.
It's a really big light bulb,
Yeah, right.
the Easy Bake.
Nice. So what do you guys want to talk about? We're all here. We might as well talk about something.
So what was the announcement from 310?
We
didn't hear
don't
about
know
that.
what the announcement was yet.
They
It's
didn't tell
still
us.
they just they teased us.
Yes.
Oh,
They
they were supposed
said
to
it-
roll it out then.
Yeah, 2 more weeks, they said.
Yeah.
They announced that they were making an announcement. It was an announcement.
Wow.
Try to get a early release first dibs on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call those guys and see if I can get the inside scoop. They probably think I can't keep a secret.
Okay.
Could always talk about the old castle networking issues recently and how it affected everybody.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was a bummer.
That's
Hot topic.
it's been a topic all week.
It's still messing with us.
Yeah.
Usually we
You
only
mean
have like
Sarah
one
Lawrence?
backboard. What's that?
Do you mean Sarah Lawrence?
Yeah,
Sarah
well,
Lawrence,
the showers
yeah.
online.
Yeah.
It's been affected,
Showers online.
but I think it's been affecting everybody because the
Oh.
old castle is connected to all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more than
Yep.
just showers online. It was like
Yeah,
a
old
lot of
castle
this.
own.
Yeah.
They own all that stuff, so it's all connected.
And True Light,
the
True
whole-
Light's Prism Pro, it was down also at the same time.
Who's
That's a
playing
bad,
music?
that's a
Their
bad
whole
word
system
over
got
here.
hacked.
Too late.
True Light is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey Rob,
Like,
can you tell who that is?
Not for us. Who's
No, Sierra Lawrence's whole system got hacked.
Ransom? Yes. I said, we got a letter. Did y'all get a letter? Our email, I got an email from CRL saying that it was a cyber attack for ransom.
Yeah. We got
Is
one
it just
after
me,
we
or do
already
you
knew.
guys hear that music?
somebody talking in the background.
I don't
Looking
hear
at
any
the
music.
speakers.
Wow. Okay. Let me see what's going on.
Notes are strumming in your head.
I hear the music in my head, but not online.
If I come off my microphone, I got my son in the background here eating dinner, playing Fortnite or something over there, so it could be background noise on me.
Yeah, you can turn that off in general.
Okay,
Ellen?
I figured out what it was. It was totally me. I was like, man, is that coming through? Somebody's
Thanks. I
microphone?
was clicking mute on everyone trying to isolate the issue.
Yeah,
But
me too.
yeah.
Okay, continue. It was wild because there was some like really cool gospel music, man, just like coming through, you know. I guess I was attached to Discord and it just started up. Wow. Came in kind of, you know, like kind of quiet and built. It was nice. But then it got distracting. Anyway, what were you guys saying?
I
How about
was-
talking
Well, I
about
don't-
being prepared? Natural disasters, hacks, death of somebody. I don't know. It seems to be that there's a lot of stuff going on, you know, and you cannot never be extra prepared.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it's been like, I don't know, kind of several years of that, just like kind of at one emergency after another or something, you know. So kind of makes you kind of reevaluate things. It has for me anyway.
So it's
kind
a
of
good
cause-
question, Elvan. Who has a emergency preparedness plan? I don't mean like, you know, let's just get out of the building. I mean like an actual written down in a binder, step-by-step instructions for different events. Who's got an actual preparedness plan?
We do have one, but honestly, even though it's all written out, it's difficult to delegate just because a lot of people that we have, they're new. A lot of people, they don't even know, you know, for example, like right now we're in the midst of a hurricane here in Florida. So it's about to hit us any moment. That's why Bill is not in the call, because he's probably already like going through the hurricane. But you know, like things like that happen. So that's what I was thinking, you know, like we all know what happened to Billy Britt, and that could happen to any of us. I mean, right now it could be a hurricane, it could be shortages, another COVID, you name it. I mean, there's so many things that can happen. But I guess the saying, it says that if you are prepared, you shall not fear. So I guess we just need to learn from the situations.
Yeah,
Well, and make sure we're insured properly the best that we can, you know. In fact, I got a letter from my landlord saying, we want you to up your insurance on this, that, and the other.
Hmm.
And, so probably not a bad idea.
Probably not.
I met with my insurance agent today, and we talked about earthquake, flood, wind, and it turns out some things you're covered for and some things you're not. And flood, I am not, and that involves a national flood program. But wind, I am. So if we have a tornado or hurricane, I'm okay. But if there's a flood, not the case. You have to involve I think the federal government flood program. So
Mhm.
definitely these things have
Even,
opened
you
your
know,
eyes
like
as the potentials.
Yeah, we have wind and hail.
So the question is, if you're covered by wind, what happens when the rain comes in because the roof got taken off? Are you covered?
Once you're under a covered event, then everything else kicks in. Without boring you to tears, there's payroll protection, there's profit protection, in addition to the loss of items. So you can insure yourself so you have enough money for payroll and all those types of things if it goes on and on. So let's say your building's wiped out, like in Billy's case, you know, you want to be covered so that you can continue to operate in some fashion. Now, of course, with flood, you're not, and flood's a separate deal. So I'm not beating up Billy. If that happened to me, I would also be in a tough spot, because when it comes to flood, they are definitely not very receptive to coverage, and that's why they bring the federal government's program. So flood is not a good situation if you're trying to get insurance coverage. But once it's a covered event, then all the other coverage kicks in.
Do you guys have contents insurance for your machinery and inventory?
Yep. Machinery and inventory. Yep. And machinery is done two different ways. If it's like the tempering oven is basically concreted into the building versus like the edgers and stuff. He described it as if you tip the building over, what falls and what does not. So. Yes, a fun insurance discussion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just urge you guys, whether you're tempering or just have a little equipment or materials or whatever, you know, check that coverage. Check that coverage.
Yeah, and then just hope you never need it.
Yeah, out here in California, they're dumping all the homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
Fires. The fires.
I just got a letter from Nationwide. They're no longer on my side.
Now, Tim, what's your earthquake situation? Is that an act of God and you're not covered, or are you covered for earthquake?
Usually earthquakes for homes around here aren't that bad. I mean, where I'm at, I've been through them and they haven't done any damages to the house, but I really never checked into that.
You can get coverage and it's really not that expensive, at least for like homeowner.
Yeah, I'm in a floodplain, but I've gone through, 2 floods and the river hasn't come up to me. In Carmel, it was 3 feet underwater. So
My house is against a river, so
yeah,
good luck there.
Yeah.
Anybody spoken with Billy?
What was that?
Has anybody spoken with Billy in the last week? I'll probably reach out to him tomorrow.
No, I only talked to him about his follow-up account. We put up an automated message, so all incoming messages they got responded to with something explaining what's going on, letting them know there's a complete pause and no thought going into that whatsoever, but that they would be touching base with them. So we have his complete account backup, CRM, all that backed up for him, and just on pause for him whenever they decide what they need to do next. I know there's going to be a lot of decompression time, but at least for CRM wise and automated message to current customers, so they're not bombarded with stuff, we got that covered for them. And the only other things I would say that we've seen on other people's accounts is, I don't know if they have cloud-based backup for other things or computer backups for all the financial stuff, but I would just recommend like regular backups of all y'all stuff to cloud-based stuff. Pay for 2 terabytes of storage, have something automated, schedule backup, take that $100 fee, whatever that is, and just that way, if you are able to still save your building or get enough things out, you have all the data you need whenever y'all are ready to restart. Because not sure what's going to happen with them next, but it's a tough situation to be in.
Good advice. There is a GoFundMe page for Billy.
Yeah.
People want to contribute.
Yeah, and it's pinned to the Shower Door Professionals page. If you go there and go to the top of the page, you'll see that there's a pinned post there. I mean, I can actually copy and paste that into the. Oh yeah, Rob's got it. It's in the chat. Yeah, I mean, there's so many of us everybody in the group just gave a few bucks. It would be a pretty good chunk of cash, to help those guys out. It's not just Billy, but it's also, his employees and the whole community is just devastated, as you guys know. He's actually right there in Asheville,
Yeah, from what I learned from the little bit I learned on flood insurance today is the coverage is not very generous. And I don't know his situation, but even with full flood coverage, it's not very good. So as you can imagine.
Greg, what is your deductible for that cover? Is that wind and hail?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, wind and hail is covered. Flood is not. So if I have the type of flood Billy had tonight, I would not have any coverage.
Right, but you have a deductible on your.
Yeah, the other stuff, it varies. Could be 1,000, 10,000. Sometimes it's 50,000.
Ours is 2% of the replacement value.
Okay. So the flood coverage is not gonna, it's just not gonna go very far, would be my guess.
True.
Well, insurance in general is never generous. We have one of our employees has been out for nearly 3 weeks now, coming up on 3 weeks, because her husband was in the hospital and he had disability, but the disability is only paying him 60% of what he was making. So it's like, you're never going to get all you need, I think they have tightened everything up as much as they can.
Well, disability, I believe, is not taxable. So I think that's the logic. So it's not counted as earned income. So that's how it was pitched to me, whether that's true or not. Oh, they don't need 100%. They only need about 2/3 because it's not taxed.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's true
and that would
anymore.
be
I think
based on-
it used to be, but I'm not sure it is. I think they figured out how to tax it now.
Government's stupid.
Well, if they're in California, they know how to tax it.
Yeah.
The whole system's retarded.
It sounds like a lot of you guys possibly have insurance policies that are set up like as if you own the building and stuff like that. I don't really know too much of the details on our end, but could you speak possibly if anybody knows the insurance if you're leasing a building or renting a space, like what kind of insurance stuff do you need there and what kind of coverages, if anybody has any knowledge of that or guidance for somebody that might be listening as to what to look for, like make sure your landlord or like has a proper insurance or what kind of insurance should you be looking for as a tenant,
That's a good question.
Because it sounds like everybody's speaking as if they own the buildings, which is nice and they pull.
I'll bet a
Well, it's
lot
really
of us here
contents.
don't own our. I mean, we don't. I'm sure a lot of us don't own.
Well, our landlord. Go ahead, Lana.
We don't own our building either. We're leasing it. And in our lease, we're responsible for all repairs inside the building, and then they maintain everything on the exterior of the building. So that's how that works. But as far as a storm, we do pay part of the insurance and taxes and so on and so forth with the owners.
Yeah, but you can be sure that like your stuff is not going to be covered by your.
Oh yeah.
landlord's
Oh, I
insurance.
know.
There's no way.
Oh,
Right?
I know.
And it's
No.
like, so because like we're renters and we have, renter's insurance on our residence. But, I don't think we have, I don't know what coverage we have as far as, we don't have much equipment or anything, just materials and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you still have to pay the taxes on a desk that's been inside your building for 20 years, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. That's what drives me crazy.
We own a building We own a building and we rent it to tenants. And we had a situation where the roof had an issue in a storm and ended up with water intrusion. And our insurance and we covered the roof and the roof repairs, but then the tenant had to cover all of the damage that was caused inside and any of their things, equipment that they had to replace and things like that. We threw them some extra money because we felt bad, but that's how those are put together. And also we own a building that we lease to someone else, and we lease a building that's owned by someone else. And we were in a small building and we bought it, and then we had to move to a bigger building, and yeah, we couldn't afford to buy it. But anyway, as a tenant, you guys may have noticed there's such a thing as triple net. So the tenant gets to pay for everything.
Oh, yeah.
So the tenant gets to pay for the insurance that is on their own stuff, and the tenant also gets to pay for the insurance for the landlord's building. And when we replaced the roof, they got to pay additional for the new roof now as part of the rent. It feels like I got all this extra money coming in when I'm the landlord, but then we turn around and all the same rules go the opposite direction as tenants. So that's how that goes.
Yeah.
And then if you're in a shopping center or something, you have to pay common area too.
Yeah. And sometimes they include revenue as part of, a piece of the rent too.
Wow.
Daniel,
Get
to
you
answer
coming
your
and
question,
going.
you should sit with an fairly trusted insurance agent and go over I've had the same guy for 16 years. We have some pretty candid conversations about what's covered and what's not. So, and you just want to make sure that you know what's covered. I know tomorrow if I have a flood, I'm not covered. But you got to know what's covered, so that any equipment you do have or inventory that you have, and how much is it? There's caps on that amount in your policy. So you may think you're covered till you take a close look at your policy and you're like, oh crap.
And what?
Yeah. I know
Loss
we're
of
all
income is a very important one.
I know we're
Say that
always
again,
talking
Alvin?
about just our regular workers' comp and employee insurance, but I don't ever hear discussion around our shop with my parents and stuff about the insurance for the actual shop itself. So there's really never much discussion about that. So it's something that I might want to look into, I guess.
Yeah, it's boring, it's unfun, but it's necessary.
We have, we keep a few trucks at the shop, and then we keep, an edging machine, and then an array of mirror stock sizes, for mirror stuff and other inventory items. So probably definitely worth looking into and figuring out, because there's no talk about it. So I might have to bring it up now.
Well, especially if any new equipment, anything's changed. So on the equipment list today, we bought one of those fancy edger CNCs this year. That wasn't on the insurance policy this morning. So that was not going to be replaced if something went wrong. So if you've bought an edger or any equipment, if you park your vehicles inside, what happens if the building burns down and the vehicles are inside?
Right. Yeah, and you're right, Greg, about like just having a relationship with an insurance, guy, like having like a specific agent that and that you talk to, who knows you, maybe recognizes your voice when you call. I mean, it makes a huge difference, because they'll level with you and let you know what you really do need, and like we'll make sure you're not paying too much, stuff like that. I've got an insurance guy I've had for a long time. Should probably give him a call.
Yeah. Well, and then of course, the CRL situation happened this week. So that was another part of the conversation, the ransomware. And, CRL is very dependent on their website for revenue. And I doubt anybody in here is dependent on their website for revenue, but so they got hacked knowing that when they shut off that website that all their order taking was gone. And what does CRL do for volume a year? Does anybody know? Do they do 200 million, 100 million, more? I don't know.
Hard to say.
Well,
Yeah.
more than that, I'm sure.
So
I would
Maybe.
imagine.
say 500 million, 250 work days, $2 million a day. So $2 million a day is shut off for a week.
Yeah.
So the ransom people aren't stupid. They know they're not going to come after one of our websites, but you don't know. You could get hacked for something else. So, so that conversation was had today. It was a lot of fun. It was a great meeting. Not really.
This can happen to anybody in the industry. So I took my truck to GM to get a glow plug. I didn't have one in stock because they couldn't order it because their GM parts network got hacked nationwide. Well, like I said, it can happen to anybody.
Yep, exactly right. And I don't usually feel bad for CRL, but I felt bad for them this week.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't use showers online, so I was fine.
And actually, if you're Smart Glacier was still working. So I don't know if any of you guys are on the smart system. They must host that on a different server because we're still using it. Smart Glacier uses the same software, but it was all operational. So it must be on a different server. So that was good.
It is. Yeah, we weren't down because we're using them.
It's probably because you're accessing Smart Glacier through a portal. So the portal would be down.
But that would have, if that was down for a week for us, we're in that software from the moment we opened to the moment we shut down.
Yeah, and for me, it's like I'll go out to measure, and I'll use Showers Online to I'll just enter, like as I'm measuring, I'm entering right into Showers Online, so that I don't have to double entry, and I don't, there's less chance of a mistake, transposing something. So whatever drawings I had in there, like I had no access to, for that period. So it's just like, fortunately, it wasn't very long. It wasn't that much, but as a matter of like, I'd have to go back out to the location and measure again, because I didn't have any backup of it. That was my backup. So makes you think, makes you think about things,
Yeah. So other than floods, ransomware, and hurricanes,
yeah,
pretty normal week.
Yeah,
What else is new?
And the apocalypse, that's to be expected now. I think locusts come next, right?
Is that what it is? I can't remember.
I think it's locusts or something.
I'll have to check with my insurance agent on locust coverage.
We've had the locusts here in the South this year.
Yeah, you're having that. Okay, well, there you go.
We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Do any of you design in AutoCAD?
I do. Not shower doors, but that's how I design my tools and stuff. AutoCAD.
We only use AutoCAD to take the DXF files from the shower software to put out to the water jet.
It's expensive. AutoCAD is expensive. It's like, I got to renew my subscription right now. I think it's like, what is it? Like $1,200 for 2 years, or?
That's
we
cheap.
bought the last year before they went subscription, so we haven't updated yet. We're waiting for them to tell us that it doesn't work anymore, like QuickBooks.
Oh, cool. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope, they got me. I fell for their thing, and they got me.
They get all of us.
Yeah. Eventually, it's just a matter of time. But I haven't been, I haven't like, I get the renewal notice. I'm like, how much? Oh my gosh, I'm not paying that. So then I do without it for a couple months. Then I'm like sitting here thinking, oh man, I need that. Oh, that's not that much. Yeah, it's, cost of doing business. It's not that big. It's funny how I watch myself go through the whole process. So I need to go ahead and renew that.
Yeah, that's what we had to use last week because CRL was all down. So
Yeah.
Mm.
It's one way to do it. AutoCAD. It's a pretty cool program. It's pretty powerful. I tried, I downloaded some kind of free AutoCAD software. It's like, I'll just some of this free stuff, and try that. I was like, where to start it. It's like after you've been doing AutoCAD for a while, you're all kind of zoned into it, and it's hard to switch to something else. For me, at least it is.
How does everybody like the update to Stars Online? We're talking about that.
Update. I didn't notice any update. Was there an update?
Yeah, there was right before they crashed.
Ah. What did the update do? I didn't really notice anything.
They have I don't know. They I don't know. It's
Are you using the new beta version or are you using the old version?
I'm using the online version. So
Okay.
now they got so on the top you got your project list. So you hit that and takes you to your project. It's pretty nice. It's a little bit more, and then in the options they got a little more things you could do and stuff. So pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything different. Well, I guess I did notice that
The color's different.
there was a difference when you were moving between projects. It was like
Yeah.
instead of there was just a little navigation difference. I did notice that.
And the design's a little different. When you go to your design it and stuff like that, a little different.
I like it a lot better than the old version. It's a lot easier doing your cutouts and stuff.
I do too.
If you're doing notches, and especially a notch inside of a notch, like a nose.
The only thing I don't like is that when you send your quote from here to your customer, and on the bottom it says, hardware supplied by CRL. Blah. I don't like that. In Citrix, you're able to go and you edit that out. So I like to wipe that out and put what I wanted to say, hardware for the order for this enclosure is so and so color, not black, whatever.
Hardware from wherever I get it. It's none of your business.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want them to know where I'm getting my hardware from, and then they'll go on CRL. Hey, how come this hardware you're charging me this much, but it costs this much? I go, you know what? I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
So I can get it for this much on Amazon. I'm like, okay.
Have they updated their finishes? Like the Cambridge you can't see in brush bronze.
Yeah,
so you have to go in and manually. That's fixed or not fixed?
Yeah, that's fixed. Yeah, they even got the new colors in there too now, as well.
Don't tell Christina.
Yeah,
because I don't have that, so I'm guessing Christina doesn't have it. So we don't have. If you go to the Cambridge, you don't get brush bronze, you don't get satin brass. I think is available as well. So some of these finishes they are not in the catalog. Yeah, so you have to, and if you put in special color, it won't price it. So you have to price it as one of the others, and then override it with verbiage when you send out the quote.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have all new colors, even in the hinges and stuff like that. They have is that matte gunmetal? That thing's nice. I have a sample. I ordered a sample. It's around here somewhere. Pretty nice.
Yeah, that's kind of making a comeback.
Yeah.
Speaking of finishes and CRL, so here's an experience that I just had this past week. So doing this job, you guys, I've talked about this job that I'm doing out in Tim's neighborhood over there, Pebble Beach. And so there's 5.
Kick his ass, Tim. Kick his ass for going.
There's 5 showers in this house. So 4 downstairs, then 1 upstairs master bathroom. So the master bath is arched. So we went and made templates of it. So I made my templates, had Overcast pick it up. And so it takes them 2 weeks after they pick it up to start it, right?
Oh, gosh.
So 2 weeks later, so the rep reaches out to me. Okay, yeah, we're ready to start cutting your glass for this. But you know what? The pivot hinge, or no, the transom pivots, they're those carded glass to glass transom
Those are ugly.
things. They don't make them in the regular brass finishing.
Oh no.
It's been discontinued. So from the time that like I ordered my glass to the time they started to cut it, they had discontinued that part. So now we can get it in satin brass. And now I've already been through this whole thing. They originally wanted unlacquered brass, but we couldn't get all the parts in unlacquered. So they settled on brass. Really nice people. I mean, super nice people. Really easy. Thank God for that. So so they they wanted these knobs. They ordered these knobs from Portals. They're pretty cool. So we got the knobs, made sure the knobs match the finish. It's just polished brass, so it's pretty easy. So now here we are, it's like weeks later. I've got to have this conversation with the homeowner that there's no way, and the transom is big enough, there's no way to do it. An operable transom without those heavy duty.
Did FHC didn't have them?
Not in brass. They don't have anything in brass.
So
brass isn't one of their finishes.
Were they available in brass?
Brass isn't one of FHC's finishes.
Well,
yeah, they have satin.
I had some hardware I needed from Sierra Lawrence, and they took it and made it unlacquered.
Yeah, they could probably make it unlacquered, but I don't think they can make it polished brass. Because all you have to do to make it unlacquered is just the lacquer. But you have to have.
What about Prima hinges?
Nope. Prima, they had the Prima style, but they didn't. The Cardiffs, they didn't have in any style. So everything else, so all the hinges, all the clamps, everything else is square, right? So that's why I ordered Cardiff transom things, But so they didn't have any of them at all. They discontinued the whole line. And then they did have the Primas, but those were only in, other finishes, not brass. So fortunately, I was able to get back to the customer and explain this to them. And he was like, well, what if we just made the transom not operate? Can we do it then? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the solution. He's like, okay. Which is like so awesome. Have a customer that's that cool, So thank God for that part. I was just dreading this conversation.
Yeah, you're already stressing out just having the conversation. You've already played it in your mind. How many times of all the worst case scenario, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's fine."
Yeah, exactly. That's how it usually goes. So that's my trauma and my drama.
Well, I had one today. I get out of the house.
Yeah.
Homeowner had changed the finish.
Oh yeah.
So I told him, well, it's 2 weeks. It's 2 days out of LA. If they had it in Santa Clara, I'll go get it. So I did a will call, and he drove up and got it. So put it in tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No.
Yeah, Union City, right?
Yeah, Union City.
Union City.
About an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I have a bit of a topic. One of the things that I encountered all the time over at the glass show were all of these people from the Dallas and other areas around there. And they were talking about 2-day turnarounds. Like if they didn't provide their showers in 2.5 days, then the customer was going to someone else. That they just have such fierce competition that if they're not turning things around, they're going out of business. I don't know how they do that. I would love to visit one of them. My husband's like, sometimes it seems like we can't even get a quote out in 2 days, much less the whole shower.
That happens in LA
Crazy,
area.
crazy.
Really? Whew.
That sounds like it's got to be like stock glass stuff for the majority,
Yeah.
because good Lord, I couldn't imagine competing with custom glass on a 2-day turnaround. That sounds insane.
I get glass in 2 days. I probably get glass the next day. Some cases.
I mean, we get it 3 days, but
Yeah, but
If I
to be
or-
out installing it in 2 days?
heck no.
no.
No. Good luck with that one.
Right now, we're
turnaround's
installing
done.
in 2-3 days.
You're installing in 2-3 days?
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember you saying that last time, Levon. Yeah, you guys are turning, 3 days.
Well, it's kind of this. The Florida market is pretty similar to the Texas market.
Well, you guys are cheap
It's
too?
really over competitive, and people just crash the work. So you gotta stand out somehow. So I mean, sometimes we are able to do. We try to have a little bit more leeway, but sometimes we just gotta install. Like sometimes it's we measure the same day. By the end of the day, it's been manufactured. We install it the following day. So no, it's not always possible, but that's kind of what we're doing for the past
But you guys are
3
fabricating
months.
glass, right?
Right, that's the only way we can do it, right?
Is what?
Yeah. That's awesome.
But
You
down
can
in
do
LA,
it. That's
there's-
awesome.
Down in LA, there's so many fabricators. They get a day turnaround.
Yeah, PRL sent a letter out a month or so ago saying you could order in the morning and we'll call it in the afternoon.
Up here, yeah.
We
I
can
am.
get hardware pretty quick, but our shower doors from Oldcastle, they're processing our stuff in just under 2 weeks right now in
wow.
Georgia. Yeah. Like it takes us a week and a half to just under 2 weeks to get this stuff made and delivered.
Shoot, if I order, let's say, I get deliveries Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. If I order any of those days, the day before 12 o'clock, I'll get it next day.
It's crazy. We get deliveries every day, but it still takes them just under 2 weeks to process everything for us.
Yeah.
But they'll still deliver every day to us.
That's,
I don't know.
No, I ordered a panel yesterday at 5 o'clock. I'll have it Friday.
That's insane.
Yeah, we're getting ours from Oldcastle in like a couple of days, usually 2 or 3 days. They're turning.
Chris, are you guys are 3 days a week, aren't you? For Oldcastle?
Probably. That's probably right.
I'm 3 days.
I think it's 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
we
here
have,
a lot.
we have Tuesday, Thursday, but it's the same. I can order up to, if it's an emergency, I can order sometimes up to like 4 o'clock and they can get it next day.
I don't know how they make money with the 1 day or 2 day. I mean, how do you fill your schedule appropriately if you get slow orders for a day or two? You're paying all these people to stand around.
Yeah.
I don't get the efficiency thing. Now, Elabin, I'm curious about yours. Is that a special favor you do for people, or is your lead time really 2 to 3 days on average?
I would say it depends on our volume. If we have 5 to 8 crews at all times. So if I'm able to, let's say if we don't have many orders, we are forced to install as quickly because if otherwise we don't have glass. If we have a lot of orders, then they're gonna get spaced out. But yeah, we are measuring everything. Then we have 3 designers that are designing pretty much all the time. Everything is sent to the machines DXF. And then we just fabricate and install next day when possible.
You're making cut lists just about as soon as you get approvals and deposits.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Sometimes like right now we probably have about 250 pieces of pending glass because we either, we have 2 hurricanes back to back, people don't sign off, everything gets delayed. And then, like right now, I would say we are a little bit slower, but maybe the following week we're going to be slammed. So at that point, we're going to have to install probably
I mean, how do you keep up the quality of the glass though, going that fast? I mean, are you scratches and glass being bowed and stuff? Are you just throwing it out and just, hey, let's see what the customer says or what? I mean, that's I'm kind of worried about that one.
He's dropped. I can speak to it. Maybe Shannon can. When you fabricate your own stuff, your quality is way higher.
Yeah.
Way higher. And you're putting it in, so the guys aren't slamming and jamming it around.
Nice. It'd be nice to have that.
Yeah, and I mean, it only takes as long as it takes to fabricate glass.
Yeah, fabrication is not the issue. It's scheduling. I mean, you got to make cutlass, and so it's like Tetris. You're filling sheets with all these pieces of glass, and so as you're and I'm thinking of Elabin as these orders are coming in. It's like, okay, put it on a cutlass. Okay, put this on a cutlass. Well, I just made a cutlass. We'll make another cutlass, and so your efficiency, both labor and the materials, would have to drop. But my guess is his volume's high enough that he's doing it just in time. I really want to see his operation. That must be pretty impressive to watch. Shannon and I are up here like, yeah, we'll put that on Tuesday's cut list. No, we'll put it on Friday's cut list.
Yeah, Greg, let's set up a visit to Elevon.
You're thinking what I'm thinking, huh?
In-depth visit.
And make sure he serves a snack this time. Come on.
But
man.
make us a video.
I also feel like, if you really are, so obviously people are being forced to just be super efficient and super on top of it. And if they can do it, the rest of us can do it too. It's necessity that makes you do what you have to do. And if you could do it, there's also probably so much gains in profit. I mean, you've got time is money, and people sitting around and getting to it when they get to it. I mean, how much is that costing? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, imagine the inertia, the velocity that you get, like when you're that busy all the time. Yeah, you'll have a couple of mistakes, but now that Ellie Ben's back, I wanted to let you know that while you were gone, we all decided that you're giving us all a big tour next week. So get ready for that.
I'd like to wait until after
There'll be about
the storm.
1,000 of us there.
Yeah, just my Wi-Fi went out, so now I'm just on my cell phone. Sorry.
Yeah. You know how it is when you leave the room, you get nominated.
Shannon, but what you pick up in efficiency, you got to remember in that competitive market, the prices are lower. So there's a lot of us that are like, 2 to 3 weeks and it's going to be a couple grand. And then you go to the Miami market and it's $800 and it's 2 days. So
yeah.
That's right. It's crazy.
So I've got one that's not shower related.
What's that?
I met Rodney from Redline.
Yeah, Rodney.
At the show.
Uh-huh.
And I contacted him for coming out here to a house that they want to take out their wood, handrail and put glass in, and the top has a, radius landing. And so he gave me a price, and you can't beat it for him to come do that.
Really? That's awesome.
And he sent me a sample, of a job he did. No patterns. He'll tell you where to put all the brackets. And,
Tim, we used him for a 3-story stair job with here in Knoxville, and he flew out and he was terrific. Everything fit. I mean, he sent us drawings and everything in glass sizes. And I was very impressed. And I think we got him through Bryn and Nicastro, unless somebody else deserves credit, I apologize. But that's what we hired him for. And boy, what a difference.
I told the contractors, you don't have to make, because I don't make the patterns, I make the contractor do it. You don't have to make them. You don't have to do anything until the glass gets here, the brackets, and you can go do it all at one time.
Yeah, it was the taper lock FHC's version of the taper lock, and
Yeah.
all the cuts, the angles, the lengths, everything.
Yeah.
And it was very impressive.
Yeah.
So what does something cost like that for him to come out there relative to the job? Like, I mean, what the kind of job you're speaking of, and what's the cost for him to come out there versus you doing it yourself, essentially?
Well, mine's a simple, stairs and radius. He says roughly about $2,000 to come out. Measure it all, give you all the sizes, and I mean.
Yeah, I think we ended up 3 just because we had some other stuff, but we had 3 levels of stairs and some other stuff.
Radius too.
Yeah.
But
he's got the FlexiJet and shoots it all and then he does something post FlexiJet with software and sends you complete drawings and stuff.
Drawings,
and of course,
what is it, a 3D version of what it is?
Cut sheets and all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Now, who is this again? Can you put it in the chat or something?
This is Rodney, the guy who came and did,
Purdy.
Yeah, he did one of your
red line templates, right?
Red line templates.
Yeah, red line templates.
He came to Top Golf, Shannon. He was at Top Golf.
Okay.
Yeah.
We talked to
If you-
him all the time.
No, he was standing.
got a
at the
project-
Brandon,
Yeah.
and then he introduced
I just
himself.
kept hearing Rodney. Come on, you know Rodney.
You know Rodney. Come on.
Right. I'm just telling you, we used him and did the whole project, and it was way smoother. Way smoother. If you have one of those jobs with that you're not sure if you should do it, you got the capability, but the patterns and the templating and all those things. It was worth every penny.
Yep.
So essentially that price point is good enough and is worth the price point for you not to have to do it, more or less. Like you would have more in it, or
mistakes in labor. I mean,
Yeah.
It's
Have
a
to
no
show up,
brainer.
no
the glass in.
question. I mean, it would cost you that much in labor to do it. I mean, easily,
Mhm.
We do that in house.
Nice.
Yeah.
I bought a FlexiJet after that, and I've been using it for small projects. I just don't have Rodney's skill yet, so I got a difficult one coming up. I sent them an email today to ask for some help. So
Rob just posted the YouTube video of him hosting this call. I think it was earlier this year. So you can just click on that link and check out the YouTube video.
Okay.
It's awesome. Yeah, the guys, it's a good resource. Fantastic. Hey, we did pretty good, I'd say. We made it to 6:30 and nobody got injured or anything. It's awesome.
6:30. It's
9:30.
9:30 over here.
9:30.
9:30. Holy
9:30.
smoke, man. Time for me to go to bed.
You're behind.
Oh no.
We made it through with no one falling asleep then.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
One thing you were asking about, some of the things we experienced at the show, and I ran into a couple different guys, maybe 3 different guys that watch this program recorded like the next day. One guy, as he drives into work on Thursday mornings, listens to this program.
Oh, how cool. That's
Love
neat.
that. Awesome. Well, hey, yeah, be sure, if you do that, like make a comment, like it, subscribe to the channel, make a comment, because that'll help other people in the industry find us. And who knows, maybe they'll be joining us on the call sometime. Anyway, that's my pitch. I'm out of here. Thanks for showing up, everybody.
All right.
Good night.
Get Elements next week.
Night.
Good night.
See you guys.